So here's a video sent in by an eyewitness reporter. These are believed to be men of the Nigeria police force attempting to arrest a commercial motorcyclist around Fagba bus stop in Iju area of Lagos. His motorcycle is seen lying in the middle of the road while the policemen attempt to take him away. Some push-pull situation apparently ensues here in this amateur video of three policemen trying to force the commercial motorcyclist into what appears to be a private van, but the man is seen vehemently resisting. In the scuffle, the irate man loses his pants and probably his dignity, but adamantly refuses to be dragged into the vehicle. The man's offense is not clear, but the uniformed officers persist with their clumsy effort to load the half-nude man into the waiting red van. Even the bemused onlookers appear not to be impressed by the way three armed law enforcement officers are apparently having a hard time arresting an unarmed and unclothed civilian. We're back to politics now, and as we watch the political events in Rivers State unfold, Nigerians are being reminded by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the collection of PVCs ends by midnight. Spokesperson for INEC, Mr. Kayode Idowu, says that so far over 80% collection of PVCs has been achieved nationwide. Our correspondent Gloria Omezoke reports.
A few weeks ago, there were strong doubts from every quarter about the ability of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to distribute the permanent voters' cards to a large percentage of the populace before the 2015 general elections. With barely 5 days to the polls and the last day of collection, the electoral body announced that it is more than ready to conduct the polls.
Going by the records as at yesterday, 56,431,255 PVCs had been collected, which was 81.98. That's about 82%. Non-sensitive materials are already on location. The sensitive materials will be taken out of central bank vaults on Wednesday, and when that is done, it will be done in the presence of party agents, observers, and all that. So the commission is set to go.
The Independent National Electoral Commission may be ready, but many residents of the nation's capital say they have no permanent voters card. At this collection center in Area 10, many had collected, but a number of them were told their voters' cards were still missing and that they would be given after the elections.
I come here almost every week. They keep telling me, come back, come back, come back. As I'm talking to you today, today is the closing date. Later, that is the Shanemi, up to today, is still not available. It's sad. That is why we still insist that some of us that our PVCs are not ready, we should be allowed to use our temporary voters card.
At another center, a crowd of people, some with PVC attestation forms, were literally begging to be attended to.
Today our BS is morning. I need to go to church for me to be able to collect my PVC. But I can talk to you up till now. They did give me, and they have closed. What would they do with my PVC?
The INEC officials, however, insist they cannot be blamed for non-collection.
When the date was extended, you hardly see people. But from yesterday and today, everybody started trooping, coming to collect PVC. Even those that don't fall under Abuja jurisdiction, like those that are registered in Kogi, in Nasarawa, in Kaduna, in Akwa Ibom, in Lagos, they'll be coming here to collect PVC for what? When you check their TVC and say, no, it's not here, they say no. INEC said they can collect their PVC anywhere they are.
As the electoral body maintains that only those in possession of the card will be allowed to vote on March 28 and April 11, it is clear that some will not be able to cast their vote during this keenly contested general elections. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Pastor Tunde Bakare of the Latter Rain Assembly says there are more convenient reasons why the 2015 elections can go as scheduled. Speaking today during a church service in Lagos on the theme, "The snare is broken and the embargo has been lifted," Pastor Bakare says he called for a rescheduling of the February elections so the nation can avoid a national shipwreck. He goes on to call for an all-inclusive government irrespective of who wins, as the days of winner-takes-it-all syndrome is over.
This is another Sunday service at the Letter Rain Assembly, but it will be interrupted, as has been the case lately, for a State of the Nation's address by Pastor Tunde Bakari. In what appears like a 360 turn, the Letter Rain senior pastor says he has lifted the embargo and elections can now go on.
One other reason this embargo has been lifted is the fact that God does not violate people's will. Since the political class has spawned a timely warning, we'll let them go ahead and have their way. But please note that in no way will God's word return to him void.
Recall that during a January 4th address by Pastor Bakari, he saw gloom and doom if the elections went on schedule for February 14, stressing that certain conditions, including constitutional and legal matters, must be sorted.
I must also warn that if we sail into general elections at this time without fixing the fundamentals, no matter what precaution is taken by the helmsman and the owner of the ship, once the ship sets sail from fair heavens, an encounter with Euroclydon will be inevitable.
So, what has changed?
The reasons for the embargo are already stated in that speech, and they include, amongst other things, number one, poor level of election preparedness by INEC. Number two, safety and security risks. Number three, likely minority kingmaking. And number four, looming constitutional and legal crisis, just to mention a few. It's on record that some of these issues have been ameliorated during the 6-week extension by INEC. One wonders what would have happened if some of these grave issues had not been addressed at all, and if the election had taken place on Lovers' Day in February.
And as always, he drops this bombshell.
If anyone thinks PDP's loss is going to be APC's gain, he or she should think twice. For after the polls, APC's pain may be PDP's gain.
The 6-week shift period ends this week. The political parties are still giving the process their best shot. Again, some may contest Pastor Bakari's twist. Whatever the positions, head or tail, Nigeria should win, and that remains the heartbeat of many. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
There's been an interesting debate between supporters of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress in the debate organized by Rubbing Minds on Channels Television. While the PDP believes it has done exceptionally well in the past 6 years of governing the country, the APC supporters believe it has something better to offer. Also present at the debate was the PDP governorship candidate for Lagos State, Mr. Jimmy Agbaje.
It can choose.
The event started with the PDP governorship candidate, Jimmy Agbaje, who did not mince words on a number of concerns raised by the moderators, which border on transportation, job creation, and more.
You've got to do the rail, definitely. We've got the water also. If you look at places like Ikorodu, Ikorodu takes an average about 4 hours to Lagos from Ikorodu. But you know, by water, it's just about 30 minutes. And so if you're able to do that, then you're able to release people from the roads.
Sadly, though, Mr. Agbaje had to face the moderators on his own, as his APC counterpart Akinwumi Ambode was clearly absent. For the organizers, Rubbing Minds, the female-focused debate will give the youth a clearer perspective to the issues debated on by representatives of President Goodluck Jonathan and General Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes, we haven't had the opportunity to lead this country as a whole, but then we have had considerable success achieved in our states on the issue of employment. Osun State is closely followed by states like Lagos and Ogun when it comes to issues of the statistics on low unemployment rates, and that is because the governors in these states have focused on youth empowerment, on creating a conducive environment for investment, on helping SMEs grow.
APC is not going to change nothing. What we are doing is, you see, we have come up with the U-Win program. We have the G-Win program, which was just launched for women. We have 60% of the 220 billion SME funds reserved for women. And we also have the Ministry of Agriculture paying particular attention to women.
The issues were deep as they were compelling. One interest was the question of education, which students have shown keen interest in lately.
Because once you have that, that basic entrepreneurship education, you will come out and you'll be able to do something. Even if you're working for somebody, if you're employed, you have more value to add to that employment. So we have started, implementing that. You're talking about education and how education means so much to the PDP, how you've done very well. But our polytechnics were on strike for 11 months. What do you tell those students? Is it because you were trying to secure their education? Were you trying to give them qualitative education? Was that why you shut their schools? Are you going to say, oh, we care so much about you and we budget so much for education, but we have to shut your schools because we love you so much? How do you explain that to them?
The debate was to come to a close after 90 minutes of arguments back and forth. But the litmus test will be as sure as tomorrow's sun when the ballots are cast on March 28th.
And unemployment, you need to get your hands dirty. You need to go
Still ahead of the news at 10, our community reports tonight focuses on argument over location of the Ilorin Sunday market. Please stay with us.